What is up, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Pez's Picks. If you're watching live on YouTube, do me a favor, subscribe to the Fans First Sports Network YouTube channel, like this video so you don't miss anything. All the stuff right there for you. If you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, subscribe, follow so that you don't miss a thing. I'm Jeff Hartman, one of the hosts. I'm not the man with the picks. That's the guy, Pez, who's with me here. What's up, Pez? How's it going?
So it's steaming up, Jeff. NFL, it seems like it
Yeah.
began already. We got all kinds of news, info, Steelers one phone call away from, I think, being a legit big-time team with Ayuk. And it's awesome. A lot going on.
We're going to talk about the AFC North today for sure. We're going to look ahead to even some week one plays. College football is right around the corner, but we're hitting the final stretch of Major League Baseball, and let's start there. Baseball post All-Star break is different. We've talked about that. You have the trade deadline. Teams are buying, teams are selling. And even if teams bought like the Pirates, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily paying dividends, as Pirates have lost, I think, 9 games in a row as of this being recorded. So when you're looking at these games and these plays down the stretch, what are you looking for as it pertains to this is a smart play, it meets the algorithm and all the back end stuff that we're looking for compared to, yeah, we're just going to pass?
So, I mean, it's a great point, Jeff. It gets easier and harder, baseball, this time of year. There are games you should not be taking. There aren't dominant players pitching and hitting like there was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So putting up 3-1 money, I think is a bad investment anytime you do it in baseball these days. I mean, you could make an argument, Scooble. That guy's awesome. I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball for me. A left-hander guy. That guy's fearless. Everything about him. Maybe he'd be a 3-1 guy to take with the Yankees, but even then, I scratch my head because you can forfeit weeks of earnings on one game, and they're not dominating 100+ wins anymore in the Major League Baseball. So we're balancing risk versus reward. I mean, it's a big part of the system. It's easy to take the 180, 190, 250 favorites, but you're going to get burned at times. So looking for, I mean, we hit last night, Detroit, Screwball. It was back to back. It was the same matchup between the pitchers and the teams from last time he pitched. A lights out performance, 15-1 win, and we were only minus 115 when we put the play out. So anytime you get the best pitcher in baseball against one of the worst hitting teams, Seattle, I don't know where that line came from, Jeff, but occasionally we're seeing little things out there. Do they always pan out? No, but that's what we're digging for every day, and they're not out there as much. So as a gambler, you should start slowing down on the baseball. Let's get to that oblong shaped ball. It's way more of an investment with football. I mean, that 162 games to 17, it ain't even worth discussing. So, and a lot of stuff going on with that right now, Jeff. I mean, we've got news in baseball and football. Things are coming together for everything. And there's some teams we're looking at with baseball. We're going to ride against Seattle, Jeff. We're going to ride on teams that hit the ball, and we're going to ride against teams that don't hit the ball. And that becomes extreme. But with the Pirates, let me down, buddy. I don't know. Your team there, I love that team. They're in a funk. I mean, the Phillies in the same situation. I don't think it's for lack of care or playing hard. And that's why baseball's tough. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, because even someone like Paul Skeens is as dominant as they come, and since he got called up into the majors, I'm going to be honest, he looks fatigued because
Sure.
he's not hitting the triple digits on a fastball. His splinter is getting caught up with, and that's the thing too. People that are these young pitchers, whether it's Scooball, Skeens, Jared Jones, who's also on the Pirates pitching staff, eventually these professional hitters are going to catch up to you. They're going to figure it out. They're going to say, I'm going to jump on this guy's fastball. He throws first pitch fastball so many times. There's an analytical approach to baseball that a lot of people don't follow. And he's kind of getting figured out a little bit, and I think he's fatiguing at the same time. So if you're fading on Skeens and the Pirates down the stretch, I'm not going to take offense to that. I would do the same thing.
Well, I don't even think it's that, Jeff. And we're going to let a little bit into the window of Pez's picks and how we operate. Historically, end of August, you start to see pitchers start to get rocked, Jeff, because you're put 25, 30 games. I mean, these guys are really the ones that are putting the most aerobic workout out there. And some of these guys are heavy dudes like big Skeens. I mean, that's a big boy right there. He's probably, what, 250, 260? So that heat begins to hit you. We'll start seeing pitchers that are on teams that are, postseason comfortably locked, they're going to give them extra rest. They have to. And if not, this is when you take advantage. Teams that don't hit, though, it gets worse, Jeff. They press, they start trying to hit long balls. And, the Pirates and the Phils, I think, are a little bit like that right now, too. It's almost like trying a little bit too hard, but definitely, this is the time of year hitting wins and pitching. I mean, yeah, you're going to have your rare few. Screwball, you're going to have some big time guys that are going to be able to, that are veterans that know how to work through this and work the corners and stuff. But it's going to be a big offensive end in August in baseball.
And so I'm going to direct everyone that's listening to this podcast or watching this podcast to go check out our Twitter feed, our Instagram feed at Pez's Picks on both of those platforms for all the up-to-date news and notes and his picks. That's Pez, not me, as it pertains to baseball down the stretch run and as we gear up for football. But Pez, any final thoughts on baseball before we switch over to football?
Well, it's Wednesday, Jeff. We're coming off a big win to start the week, and we're right about 500. So, we're looking for a big end of season push. You survive July and early August in baseball gambling. It's a nightmare, Jeff. It's like going to the track every day, which I respect people that do. But we're taking the over tonight. Dodgers, Brewers, 2 top 5, top 6 hitting teams. Brewers coming off 4, soft bats in a row. I mean, they're barely putting runs up, but 2 pitchers tonight, combined ERA is about 11. The total's at 9. So these are the things we're looking for, and we're about even odds, and that's what risk reward. That's a big part of how we're going to finish off. But let's go. Let's get to football, Jeff. This baseball drives you nuts, right? you see these guys; they go crazy with the numbers. Football, it's fantastic what's happening, and I'm happy for your Steelers, Jeff. I hope this happens today.
Well, we'll see, and I don't know. As of this being recorded, it's still nothing but conjecture and speculation, which it has been for seemingly over a month. I go back all the way to pre-draft when the Steelers were having conversations with the 49ers about potential trading for a wide receiver, not necessarily Ayuk, but also Deebo Samuel. And so this has been an ongoing saga. Let's start with the AFC North. This is a division. You did your future plays for the AFC North recently. This is a division that, in my opinion, and I don't think there's many people out there that are going to disagree when I say that I think this is the best division in football, bar none, hands down. You have the Bengals with Joe Burrow back, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, tremendous lineup there. You've got the Steelers who are hoping to rebound with either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, maybe the Brandon Ayuk situation, but still a really good defense, by the way, with TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, and adding Patrick Queen. You go to the Cleveland Browns. Can Nick Chubb come back from his knee injury? But Deshaun Watson, you've got Jerry Jeudy there now. You have some Amari Cooper still there. Very talented team in Cleveland. Really good defense with Myles Garrett. And then obviously we have the Baltimore Ravens, the team I hate the most, that they're still going to be extremely difficult to beat. Lamar Jackson, they always have a good running game. Now you add Derrick Henry. The defense is always stout. They always seem to find the next guy. Roquan Smith is anchoring that unit. But Pez, when you looked at the AFC North, you're looking at the future bets. I've seen some of them. We already talked about the Ravens a little bit last week. What do you think about the other 3 teams, though, as it pertains to their future picks?
100% we agree with you, Jeff. And this would be a big thing when we look at gambling. Teams that play these AFC North teams, and, we'll throw the Browns in there, too. Their defense is stacked and
absolutely
physical. So when you play a team like that, win or lose the next week, it affects you big time. When we're looking weeks down the line, I'm debating with some of my old associates on, the Ravens are playing a team we're looking at, and then they come right back on Thursday, and we're looking, do you take this game or not? And you can put future plays in the lock lines. And if you have a trustworthy bookmaking operation you're dealing with, Jeff, but you take 3 of these teams, they probably, aside from the Chiefs, maybe are the best team in every other division in the AFC. And I love the Ravens regular season, Jeff. I think they're going to be, as long as the running back and the quarterback stay healthy, they're going to be unstoppable in the regular season. What do you do with Lamar and the big guy? I mean, how do you stop that? So regular season, I think that's going to be an equation that we're going to ride on. We took the over in them. Having said that, Jeff, I think the Steelers, and I think they could have a breakout year, which is kind of weird to say. You look at these numbers, 20 years in a row, they've had 1 6-win season. Every other season's been 500 or better. It's unbelievable, Jeff. How come everybody isn't betting them every year to take the over, right? Like 10 – you didn't even have an offense last year, and they win 10 games. So
that's true.
I think they're going to be able to manage this quarterback situation. Whoever's starting makes everybody on that offense better, running back, receivers. And I think there's a lot of money involved too. I think you can figure out a way to have both those guys, and whoever starts or whatever, that's a huge improvement. Love the over. The other two teams, a bit of a question mark though, Jeff. Bengals and Browns. Both quarterbacks to me are a little bit of, a lot of a question mark with Deshaun. And Joe Burrows, I'm not completely sold on him. I don't know if physically he can maintain a 17-game season. And both of these teams have holes. Still good teams though. And the Bengals, I believe, have the easiest schedule in the league. Where the Steelers have the hardest. But we're taking the over with the Steelers, Jeff. I love this play. They get Brandon Ayuk. We got in early. We put this play this week. I think those numbers jump a game, maybe two. The odds are going to jump. So I love the Steelers right now. I love the situation they're in.
It's going to be interesting to see how these things play out. Vegas in the books, they know what they're doing, and they know how to move money one way or the other. And so the line that you had, did you say it was 8.5 for Pittsburgh?
Yes, I believe it. Let me check to make sure. 8.5, Jeff. I'm pretty sure, which is kind of insulting almost in a way when you look at their history.
It kind
of is. Let me make sure, Jeff. It's not 9, but I believe wins is their lowest in the last decade. So, I'd have to say that this is an investment. That's a great one right now. No matter who's quarterback, they have two quarterbacks who were markedly better than the product they were putting that quarterback out last year, or whoever was playing, right? So
yeah,
I think that alone makes that team better. I don't know. I think it's easy money right now, Jeff. I think that's going to be our leading season total play going into the end of the season here in the last two divisions we're going to be doing.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think 8.5 is a little low. I'm not shocked they didn't go 9 because, well, they don't want anything they could potentially push.
Sure.
So you have to take the over. I'm going to hammer the over as well. But getting talking about football though gets me excited because I think that football in general, and this is for anyone that's new to the podcast, we talked about this last year at the beginning of football season, was how football is an easier sport to gamble on. There's so much more information out there as it pertains to injury reports. You can see a lot of data and you get a whole week to digest it. So you're seeing trends with teams that are doing well on the road versus teams that struggle at home or whatever the case is. When it comes to football, I want to ask you a question because we can't forget college football is starting up. How do you differentiate football betting with the college level and the NFL level?
We talked about it a lot last year, Jeff. College gambling is way more of a risky operation, especially right now. They're in college, Jeff. They're partying.
That's right.
They're in a lot of states where getting high is legal, Jeff. So that alone makes you a little slower the next day, I'm sure, if you're a college football player, right? They're drinking. Who knows what they're doing? In the NFL, and I look a lot into these hard knocks. I know I talk about them a lot, Jeff, but I love it. Information as a gambler is what you really need. These guys take it seriously now. They're professionals. They even eat healthy, right? So college, who knows what you're eating? You're eating a pizza you found on the floor, when you wake up, probably on game day. Even if they're in hotels or what have you. But during the week, it's college. So, with all these transfer portals, so who knows with college anymore? Each year, it's a gambling nightmare. Now, you got to recalibrate everything. Who knows who's playing where, right? So
yeah.
I think you got to go into college football gambling a little slower, wait a week or so. Some of these games are throwaway games anyway, where you're laying 50, 60 points against, sacrificial lambs, when the top 20 teams start out soft. But for football, we can go in on quarterback situation. We can go in on, there's vibes that come out of NFL camps that, teams are looking, we're looking to build this year and get better. I like what the Bears are doing. I think that's a little bit of where they're at. They got a lot of rooks on offense, and I think they're going to be happy to get in there and make positive steps. And then you got other teams that are going for it, right? Steelers are going for it this year, so that changes how the team knows that too. They're going into game one. They're ready for war. So that quarterback situation and the vibe coming out of camp makes it easier to kind of make an educated investment with college versus NFL football.
Yeah, hell, I remember last bowl season, we were making plays based on the coaches that were leaving, the players that had already entered the portal the odds that you're like, how is this line when the head coach already left for this school? Their top 5 players have already entered the portal. They're not playing in the game. And we want a lot of bets that way because it's all this extracurricular stuff. That's what college feels like to me. It feels like there's a bunch of extracurricular stuff. It's not just football. It's not just analytics. There's less of an algorithm, in my opinion, just me, in college than it is in the NFL. You agree or disagree?
Agree. And, then you can throw a quarterback situation into that too. Are guys turning the ball over? College football, there's some guys that just turn it over constantly, and, they still can win games with them, but that's something to bet against. But NFL, and you bring up a good point, when there's drama on NFL teams, that does not bode well going into the season. When you have holdouts, like Hassan Reddick and lunatic Aaron Rodgers, Jeff, I'm loaded up against those Jets all year, already in my mind. I mean, without calculating numbers, who's running that team? These guys are blatantly just saying, screw you, I'm not going to practice. And now he ain't showing up, Jeff. So trust me, that affects the room, and usually the players, they're on the player side. Hassan Reddick's getting $14.5 million. He's walking into, guy could blow his ACL on week 1 and be done. So he wants to get paid, Jeff. And I think the Eagles made a good decision, not for that guy as an employee, but for themselves. It's tough to predict how long you're going to be able to have that spark to get to the quarterback and get sacked. So
that's right.
I feel for that guy. I think players side with players that hold out. I don't think in college, if you ain't playing, everybody hates you. Hey, one of the guys. In the NFL, they look at it as a guy looking to get paid, take care of his family, and I don't think that makes the team happy. I don't think it makes them happy with management and the coaching situation. And I look for a lot of that early on, Jeff. Usually that corrects itself. You get a few weeks into the NFL season, they let guys go. So, but game 1 coming out of camp, I love betting against teams that have a lot of drama and a lot of crap that you don't see in winning organizations. Patriots, Steelers, even the Eagles, they get drama. They just dump guys, which I think is the right thing to do, to be honest with you.
All right, so let's look ahead. This is really early. But we're going to talk some NFL Week 1 odds that we like. You can place bets already on these games if it's a line that you're thinking, I can't afford to not make this play. So I'm looking at a specific sports book. I'm looking at FanDuel right now. Okay. And what odds are you looking at? What games are you looking at as potential plays in Week 1 early on?
I mean, Jeff, we put out months and months ago. The Philadelphia Eagles would love this play. I mean, you're in Brazil, a little bit more of a veteran team, and who knows the lures of Brazil, Jeff? I've seen like cooking shows and stuff, and that looks like a hell of a good time, especially if you got a couple bucks down there. So I think Philly is poised. I think that quarterback, hate to say it, Jeff, that guy got overpaid, right? I mean, he had about, 5, 6 good games. Was talking about
Jordan Love?
Jordan Love. I mean, hey, power to him, Jeff. But he gunned that ball and I think was a little bit of luck. I think when you gun that ball that much as a quarterback, that bodes poorly for the future unless you're a magic guy like I think Stroud could be, or obviously a Brady, Peyton Manning. So I don't know if Jordan Love is there. But anyhow, we're going Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff, and I got it at -2 right now. I love it. I think they're going to pound the ball all night. And, Green Bay's a solid team. I mean, a good defense too. But I think Philadelphia is going to be a little bit more focused, a little bit, everybody knows their role going in. Everybody. I mean, Jalen's a quarterback. We got 2 stud receivers. We got a horse at running back. And I think we're just going to lean on them all night. A game, Jeff, we're looking at, we haven't put out as an official play yet, but I think we got to look at the Giants at home, getting a point against Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings, Jeff. I mean, J.J. McCarthy down. I feel bad for the guy. I've got, gambling world people are cruel, Jeff. My partner, Action Man, he said he sent a curse word out about J.J. going down. He said that was easier money when J.J. was quarterback. So we're going to look at this. Does Sam Darnold make that a better investment or not? I kind of think it does a little. I think when you lose a guy that they're anointing as the starter, J.J. McCarthy, and he goes down, whole team goes, right? And that's a big exhale. So that's something we're going to be looking at over the coming days. And we'll be putting official plays up probably end of next week, right, Jeff? It's coming.
Yeah, but we have time because when you think about it, this is week 2 of the preseason. Week 3 is the following week. There's a week off before the week 1 games. And I think in week one, we're going to be giving some leans and we're going to be giving our picks. And there's some hefty spreads out there already. When you look at like the Buffalo Bills -6.5, hosting the Arizona Cardinals, I think that might be the largest spread of week one games. I'm shocked that the Monday nighter, New York Jets, your buddy Aaron Rodgers, in San Francisco is giving 5.5. The Jets do have a good lineup. I want to make sure that we know that. The Jets do have a good lineup. They might be a train wreck. I'm sorry. The largest spread, 9 points. Cincinnati Bengals are giving 9 to the New England Patriots in week one.
Which, I don't like betting against the Patriots, Jeff. I know that, Darth Vader's gone, Belichick's gone, but that's a good organization. In week one, teams that operate well, they tend to be competitive week one. They're coming in organized. Even, the Patriots suck, let's face it, Jeff, but that's a lot of points, and that's a team coming in with everybody's got pride week one. You're trying to earn your salary. That San Fran Jets game to me, that almost seems like easy money, Jeff. Sometimes I got to talk with people. Do I hate Aaron Rodgers that much that I'm looking at this, poorly? That bastard could come out and gumballs like Joe Namath, right? He's got it in him.
Yeah.
He's got he was blessed from whatever God he's into or planet or whatever. His arm is a rocket. So I hate betting against those type of guys early. You're betting against a gunslinger. The line's sticking out to me, Jeff. The Pittsburgh Steelers getting 2.5 in Atlanta. It's fishy. It's fishy, Jeff.
Hey, that's Kirk Cousins now at the helm in Atlanta, and I've got it at 2.5. What I'm looking at right now, Steelers. Obviously, they're not really sure what to think. This is a revenge game for Arthur Smith. He was the head coach there last year.
Absolutely.
He's going to want to go down there. There's a little extracurricular motivation, if you want to put it that way, for the Steelers. I would take the Steelers plus 2.5 on the road in Atlanta without hesitation.
Jeff, I love it. And I believe you recall we refer to him as Turd Cousins, Jeff. Turd Cousins. He's like an idiot, Jeff. He takes shots he doesn't like need to be taking. He's like stupid or something. Guy, I respect him, but he's an idiot. So I think he knows. Who they brought Penix Jr. in. That guy's sniffing to get in the game. He's lighting it up in the preseason already. That guy's arm is a rocket. So I find it's disrespectful to the Steelers, Jeff, and I love it too. And we have a strong lean in that direction. And I'll take 2.5 with the Steelers opening up with a lot of mojo going on. They're happy about that team, and they get Ayuk. We should put that in now. That's going to probably change 3 points. Who knows?
It probably would. So, all right, Pez, it's been a great show. What are your final thoughts heading into the weekend of action?
Let's keep calm on the baseball, Jeff. We're looking for kind of gems, in the rough here because there's a lot of danger out there right now. So let's start focusing and transferring to football a little bit. And, we love the over tonight with Milwaukee and the Dodgers. And, hopefully next week I'm not eating my words saying that because I'm predicting the future right now, Jeff. That's a lot, right? That's a lot.
That's true. All right, Pez, it's been a lot of fun. Make sure you check out Pez on Instagram and Twitter at Pez's Picks so you don't miss all of the picks. And when we get into football season, that's where we shine. So make sure you're staying tuned to that. But Pez, thanks for another great show, man. We'll talk next week. Take it easy.
See you, bro.